and welcome to the Crafty Diamond. I am Debbie. Today I have a very short unboxing of some mini diamond paintings that I plan on taking to work with me, and I'm going to also be kitting them up or preparing them. I do not work out of baggies. I just have a really hard time with that. I tend to be very messy if I do. So I also wanted to demonstrate some tips that you might use when working with static. When I first started this video, I didn't think that I was going to have any static, and then realized very quickly that I did. So I wanted to just give some tips and some tricks of what works for me. And also you can see how it can be very messy if you have some static. But anyway, I did have some static on this one, and you can see how I am working through it, the mess and all. So I'm going to turn you around and let's get started. Okay. I think I have everything. I'm going to be doing this mini. So which one is this, you might ask? This is the New Year edition from Diamond Art Club. It's the mini dazzles, and there's only 6 of them. And I need something that I can easily take to work, throw in my bag, and have something that I can work on in between classes if I'm not very busy. And unfortunately, the only thing that I have for an organizer to include this is this case. There are quite a few in here, and I've already looked at the color count on this just to make sure that I had enough. There's only 9 colors in here. So I'm going to go ahead and use this anyway, and I should get this done fairly quickly. I hate to tie up an organizer that I could be using for something else, but I don't think this will take very long, and it's all I have that I can easily throw into my bag. So I'm just going to show you briefly what comes in a mini dazzles. If you are not sure, if you haven't seen one, you get your typical toolkit that you receive from any Diamond Art Club canvas. The tray is a little bit smaller because it is a mini dazzles, I do believe. You have several baggies that you can put your drills in if you want to. You also have one of these wax pins, and the wax comes out there. You can just twist it and the wax will come out. You also have some wax that you can use to refill. You have a 2-placer there. You have some clear wax here that comes in with your toolkit. We also have our tray with the lid. And then we have, I think this is maybe a 4-placer, 5-placer maybe. My nails are hideous. And we do have some regular wax in case you'd rather use it. And you can change out the pen and use a single placer here if you don't like the wax. Okay, we have here, that's our instructions. This did not come with a card. Some of the mini dazzles I have received have come with one. Most of them that I received do not, but this does tell you diamond painting instructions if you're not sure how to diamond paint. Here are our 9 stickers. This also gives us a sheet showing us what comes in the kit. I will put this into my logbook. These are actually in a plastic bag here, which is nice because it saves them from getting dusty, even though they do have a cover on them. So let's take a look at these. I do like, these are 4x6s. I do like how they have a border around the sides. If you want to frame these, you can easily do so. So we have this one. Then we're going to have this one. Is that 1 or 2? That felt kind of thick. We have the 3rd one. The little champagne glasses. I like that one, the 31st. And then our champagne here, our bubbly. So what I'm going to do, we do have the drills here. All of these are squares. All of the drills that come with mini dazzles, they are all fairy dust. And this won't take us very long because there's only 9 colors, but I wanted to go ahead and show you how I kit up. Now, with this being so small, the kit up It is the same as what I will do for the regular size or larger size canvases, but I don't have to worry about using washi on these, even though on here it doesn't go over to the side, so we're good with that. And these are partials because you only kit up what you see that's in the colored portion here. The background you don't kit up, and so you don't have to worry about all that excessive glue. So there's not many here, but there's plenty for all 6 of these, and I should have some left over. So let's go ahead and get to our kitting up process. I'm going to do this just as if this was a regular canvas. What I would do is first go through, I cut all of these up. Diamond Art Club has their drills in trains by weight. It is not by DMC number. Most of these are in DMC order because it just happened to work that way. But what I usually do is I just take all these out, and then I'm going to put them, a lot of times I'll put them in DMC order to make them easier so I can find them. But what I definitely want to do here, I'm going to move all this out of the way because we don't need our toolkit. With Diamond Art Club, I have used them so many times that on the stickers, I know that these stickers do not permanently adhere. They do not leave a residue on your containers. So I am just going to put them down without worrying about using washi in order to ensure I can get these up easily. Because I have had some doozies where it has taken all that I had to get them off of the containers, and then I had to even wash the containers. I had to soak them overnight on some of them because it was so bad. Diamond Art Clubs tend to not stay on for me at times, so it's kind of interesting that I fight some of these to stay on the containers, whereas with some of the others, it's like I am just doing all I can to get them off. I really like to do the mini dazzles, and then also my love is paint gem. I love paint gem because that's what I started out with. I have a lot of paint gems. I just wasn't ready to start a paint gem yet because most of theirs are around 12 or so kits, sometimes more, and I just wasn't ready to do that. I want a quick finish so I can at least praise myself for a finish, since I'm working on some rather large diamond paintings. And then with my detox on my work in progress, I really wanted to see a finish. Now I'm going to have all of these that are not needed. Normally I would never do this, but sometimes a girl does what she has to do, right? Because I just want to get this kitted up. I'm going to be going into the office on campus on Wednesday, and I don't think I'll have that much to do yet since it is the beginning of the semester. Monday and Tuesday, I do have a lot going on with work, but then I'll have everything done by the time that I get on campus. And then once I get on campus, then I'm not going to have that much to do. On Wednesday, after one of my classes, I'll have some time to spare. So I am going to use the tray that came in with my kit, and I'm just going to have these in order here. I'm not used to only working with 9 colors, so when I opened it to look and see what the drill count was, I kind of laughed. That was really funny. Okay, so I'm just going to start with one of these, and all of these are going to fit obviously in here. This one is Z869. I'm going to go to Z869 and then open these up. I did receive the container from one of the discount companies, and I'll put the information below on that. And this could take longer than I thought it was going to because it has static. So I was hoping that it wouldn't have any static. I may have to get my dryer sheets. It didn't look that bad, but this first one is going to be problematic, and it is. They're flying everywhere. Okay, so I did get this one in here. It took me a hot minute. That's really pretty. It's gold. That's gorgeous. I did put a small little sliver of a sheet in there, and what I'm going to do, just to be on the safe side, is I'm going to get my tray, because I'm going to pour first the diamonds into my tray, and then from there I will also pour them into the container. That might make it a little bit easier. I'm going to take a small piece of dryer sheet. I'm going to open this one, and yeah, that one looks pretty bad too. This one is Z680. I'll go ahead and get this out so I know which one it is. What I'm going to do here is I have some tweezers. I'm just going to pick up my dryer sheet here, put it in here, and then I'm just going to rub it all around. Make sure that I do get the side of the bag and see if that's going to do it. Then I'm going to pour these out. That did better. So that is one trick that you can do, which that did help. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm just showing you all the different tricks that I have used. Decide to go with the spray starch route, which I do that quite often. Just use a Q-tip and spray the Q-tip, and then run the Q-tip all in the bag. And I don't like using that unless I just have to, because it does tend to, I'm going to kind of shake it a little bit. It does tend to make some of the drills stick together, which they're usually fine once that you go to use them. But I prefer not to do that unless, again, I just have to. So then we have Z386. Oh, we have Z3865. Another hack that you can try is you can blow into the bag. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. Pour these into the dryer sheet. And then I'm going to just fold the dryer sheet over like so. Make sure all the drills are covered. And then I'm going to pour them. That's a lot easier. It's an extra step, but if you have just horribly bad static, then definitely try that one. That's a really good hack. Some people have sworn by putting their drills in the freezer for just a few minutes and just getting them good and cold. And then when they take them out, then they go ahead and kit up. I tried that. I didn't like doing that. And then I'm the world's worst about forgetting that I put something in the freezer. And then that's not good because I don't want them to get frozen. This is another time I blew in these just to see how this is going to do. My husband is an electrician, and he's always telling me, well, you wouldn't have this problem if the drills were grounded. I'm like, okay, then tell me, what do I need to do to accomplish this? And you think of something that is a really good idea. If it works, then I'm sure you can sell it. But of course, I haven't heard anything else from him on that regard. 676. Okay. These don't look horribly bad. Let's see. I say that. I do this every time, and then they go everywhere. But the static on these drills today do not seem to be as bad as what I had a couple of weeks ago when I was getting ready to start my detox on my work in progress, and I had some really bad static on those. This one's 129. This is my favorite yellows. 129, especially in fairy dust. I'm not a real fan of yellow, but for some reason I really do like these. And this had very little static. These are ABs and not fairy dust. Maybe that's the difference. It seems like the fairy dust have more static in them than the ABs. So I'm kind of curious if that is normal or if that just happens to be the case on here. Is this 415? Now this one's fairy dust, and it looks like it has more. It does look like it has more static than our others. It also helps if you help the drills by just kind of sliding them down. And as long as they're not popping, then it's not too much of an issue. I have had drills that once air hit them, they started popping like popcorn. I wish I would have done this at the end of December, so it would have been ready for January the 1st. That would have been kind of cool. Or even doing them on December 31st. That would have been kind of fun too. But I had these in my stash, and I just did not pull them out to work on them. And then I started looking at all of my minis, thinking, you know, what can I take to work that's small? And sometimes with the paint gems, they can be a little bit bigger and they can be a little more detailed in color. Some can even have confetti. And so I didn't want to pull the cover off and then I couldn't finish it, or I had to stay late at work because, oh, that's awful. I had to stay late at work because I did not finish. Last one is Z318. And if you are not a subscriber, I would love to have you here. Also, you might want to click on that notification bell so you're notified of future uploads. When I finish this, whatever month that it's in, hopefully I will finish it in January. That's the plan anyway. Is that on my month in review at the beginning of the following month, I will show all of my finishes. I do show my whips. I don't tend to show my minis, especially ones that I take to work and leave them. And I just work on them throughout the semester. Once I finish them, then I'll count them as a finish. But I don't count them in my stash, and I don't count them as part of a whip. So unless I've happened to bring them home and I'm doing my whip parade, I usually don't show minis. I just like to do them all at one time because they are so small. There's that one. So that is it for this diamond painting. So now I can get ready, and all I have to do is to put these into here. I should be able to close. I can close it just fine. I do have a small bag that I take to work with me. Actually, it's already in my bag for work. And I have my pen in there. I have just the basics. I'll have some tweezers. I do have some putty. And then I will have one of my trays. So everything is already there. All I gotta do is just put this in my bag. And then when I get to work, I will just put this in my desk. And I will leave it there until I am ready to work on one of these. I'll also put this, since I already have this here, I don't have to worry about it. But I'll go ahead and put this into my logbook, which I am trying to stay current on. But hey, it's only January, and I'm doing a good job. But, you know, I'm sure that it is going to start going downhill on my logbook. But I'm trying my best to keep my logbook updated just as much as possible to make it easier, especially when I'm doing my whip parades. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you like this video, please click on the like button. And until next time, happy diamond painting. Bye.